Howdy do, buckaroos. Welcome back to the channel. Have I got a video for you? I've been busy as all can be working on the old 6.5, getting her ready. It's getting finally warm out. It's been like 55-ish during the day here, so it's really making me itch that scratch of getting this race truck done. So I haven't really updated you guys in a minute, but this is going to be a really big one. I'm going to flip the camera around and show you guys what I've got accomplished in the last week or two. Look at that, boys. Jiminy Christmas. Here, let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. Look at that. So, first off, small stuff. Got the oil cooler back on, new lines, all replumbed. Oil cooler is good to go. I ended up getting, as you can see, my sending unit. I found a pressure gauge that I think is going to work perfect. That's electronic, which I really wanted electronic. It was very easy to find a mechanical gauge, but I didn't want fuel running directly into the cab. I really wanted a electronic gauge that would read up to 150 psi, that was oil rated, diesel fuel rated, things like that. So actually, let me walk over here and I'll show you guys what I got. We'll be back, I promise. Walk over here. Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do. Never leave your creepers on the ground. That's how you trip. So, a little back to goodies here. Here it is. It's still in the bag yet, just got it. It is an Odyssey line of gauges from Dakota Digital, and you can kind of see the glare in the sun. It's actually blue. It's smoked lens, but when you turn it on, it's blue LED. Here's a paper for it. You can kind of see it. Like I said, Odyssey from Dakota Digital. It's their Series 2, and super simple plumbing. 3 wires to it, key on power, and it's on. Only reason it's 3 wire, as you can see here, is you can run it to your dimmer switch for your headlights. But if you don't want to, then it's literally just a 2 wire, key on power, and then power from your sending unit, and then your sending unit's just a ground and your gauge. So super simple. It'll be 3 wires total, short little ground off the sending unit to somewhere on the engine, probably an intake bolt. Sorry. And then run a wire from your sending unit to the center port on your gauge, which is your signal, and then a key on power. Super simple. Oh, I guess it's 4 wire technically. You got to ground your gauge out on that terminal, but it'll work out perfect. You can see here it's a 2 1/16 inch gauge, which is the same as all the gauges I have now. So I can take my 35 psi fuel pressure gauge out and it will go in the dually. And this will go right in its spot and read up to 150. And I have glow shift gauges in the truck that I've had in there for a long time. I know everyone talks their grief on them. I've never had a single issue that was the gauge's fault. The only issue I've ever had was a tranny temp sensor, and that's because I was out hot rodding through the sagebrush and ripped the wires out of the sensor. Like I said, not the gauge's fault, not the sensor's fault. My glow shift gauges have treated me well. And I keep, like, those are the 7 color gauges, and they're always on blue because my truck has the beautiful factory 90s blue interior. So I had all the blue lights. That's why I got this smoked face gauge, the blue lights, to go along with that theme. And some more turbo system parts. I will show you one of these out of the bag, and I will show you what they're for back over the truck. I have one out of the bag and assembled. Got those, as you can see, from Vibrant. And then these There's 4 of these bad boys. I only have 3 right here, but there's 4. These are from Ace Race Parts. And they are stainless steel 304. They're 1/8" MPT weld-on bungs. So I can weld these to my piping for a boost reference, boost gauge, nitrous, other things of that nature, anything you would need 1/8" MPT for. So I got 4 of those. That's everything in the box. Like I said, we'll go back to the truck and I will show you one of those assembled. This is kind of a cool project we're working on the shop here. 92 first gen with a 5.9 common rail. I'm not a fan of the green either. That's just the engine we got. It's super low miles engine. 0359 NV5600 6-speed behind it as well. Gonna swap all that common rail stuff into this first gen. Enough about that turd. Let's look at this bad boy. So, last time I showed you guys, the intercooler wasn't even mounted. So, ended up getting the intercooler mounted. I ended up just whipping this quick little guy up. Good little project to practice my TIG on. Just a little lifting eye here. Screwed on. Like so. Picked this up with the engine hoist. Lifted her where I wanted. And then I cut out a steel plate. Yeah, let's go under. A steel plate right here, as you can see. Cut that out. It's a 1/4" plate. Like you've seen in the last video, the welding shop welded the 3/8 bolt, like feet, I guess you'd call them, to the intercooler. And what I ended up doing, cutting the plate out, 4 3/8" holes, boom, that was easy. Hoisted it into place, bent a couple pieces of 1.5" pipe, made a bracket down here, and just where it ended up landing was right, this is one of your idler arm bolt holes, so I actually put it all on and it overlapped the hole, so I took a hole saw and notched out the bracket perfectly for the hole. It turned out slick. And then used a riv nut in the frame so I can just bolt that straight to it. Boom. And then this one on top of the control arm mount, I used another piece of 1/4" plate, built a mount that bolts on, welded the pipe to that, bends up nice. Right now it's just kind of got a couple tacks in the bottom. These are welded, but I just gotta fill weld these once I get it off, weld it, paint it, all that good stuff. But intercooler's in and mounted. Solid unit. I also built a support that goes from here across to the engine to kind of, so it rocks with the engine. As you guys know, it has solid motor mounts, so it shouldn't rock too much, but just to be safe. And the way these are designed, bent like that, a lot of weight was going to hang off the backside. So I kind of built this to keep it hanging towards the engine, keep it straight up and down, kind of take the weight off of the brackets. So that turned out perfect. And the intercooler's mounted. What we'll end up doing is that tin plate right there actually is where the factory heater core hoses came out of, that I plugged per NHRA rules, no open holes in the firewall. We'll take that plate back out and either put some weather stripping around the edges or some grommets. But we will take some 90s off of these water inlet and outlets, 90 them straight off, run them right back through the factory heater core lines, which will come into here to the ice box. This box will hold 10 pounds of ice and be full of water. It's got 5 ports, so you can mount a pump straight to the box, what have you. And right here on the top is your return. One of these is your feed on the bottom. The other one you want to put a ball valve on. What I'm going to do is put a ball valve on this end probably, so it'll stick out to about here where my pointer finger's at, and then I'm going to drill a hole with a hole saw in the floorboard and 90 it straight through the floor so I can drain the water out. But I wanted to keep the icebox in here out of the elements, out of the heat. It'll be a lot cooler this way, and it's easy to service. Open the door, spin the top off, pour a bag of ice in that bad boy, fill it with water, ready to make a pass. And then, like I said, ball valve here, drain it out, close your ball valve, refill it, good to go again. Oop. Sorry if that was a little loud, but there's that. I will either mount the pump directly to the box or very close to it right in front of it. This will be going bye-bye. This is my Snow Performance water meth pump. This will be going in the dually. But like I said, we'll pull that plate out of the firewall, which you can see right there below the PCM. Pull that plate back off, run the water hoses right to this, to the pump. Everything will be nice and contained in the truck. We'll only have about 5 feet, 6 total of water hose. So I'm super excited about that. Most of it's going to be contained in the cab, so it's out of the elements, things of that nature. Alright, so we kind of covered the intercooler. Let's look at the piping. So, this is my very first big project with TIG welding. So, it's turning out better than I thought it would, but not as good as you would like. I feel like that's every project. But, just kind of 45 depth, 90, 45, straight 45. Super simple. I think it looks super clean. Gives still plenty of room under here to work on everything. Servicing injection pump if I have to. Plenty of room for my regulator. It couldn't have been better. Plenty of clearance for the hood. It doesn't stick up any. It actually sticks up less than the turbo does. Turned out perfect. Plus I have a cowl hood, even more room. So this is the hot side pipe because it's going from turbo to intercooler. So it's pre-intercooler. That's why it's the hot side pipe. Comes up and over. Boom. V-band this end with an O-ring seal. V-band this end with an O-ring seal. Perfect. And then your cold side, because it's post intercooler, just a simple 45, 45, 90 right into the intake. And a lot of people, it's kind of an old school trick. A lot of guys go now with the Vibrant Van Gen clamp or Race Part Solutions clamp, PQY. There's multiple clamps that get rid of the V-band and they're O-ring sealed and you have a little bit of movement. I didn't want to do that quite yet because, like I said, this is my first TIG project, so I didn't want to ruin a bunch of expansive flanges. So these are from Keating Machine. Like I said, these flanges are from Keating Machine. They are O-ring sealed. And like I covered in the intercooler video, these are 3.5 inch V-band flanges, which is the exact same as a S400 framed Borg-Warner turbo outlet is 3.5 inch. So all the same flanges, all O-ring sealed. This is nice thick O-ring that comes in them. Got all that stuff. There we go. And like I said, this is kind of an old school setup with the bellows. These are also from Ace Race Parts, 304 stainless. And they have a thick liner on the inside so they don't expand out like this. But a big problem with these, especially on high boost levels, is they like to spread like an accordion. And that's where we go to... Where did I put it? Oh, right in front of my face. This is what was in the bag from Vibrant. These are their boost braces. As you can see, that's notched right there, notched right there. And what this does is it goes on either side of your bellow, like so. Is it gonna stay? Yeah. about like that. You weld these on, these bungs, and then that bolts on, and it still lets it flex, but it stops it from doing that accordion thing and spreading. And then it keeps it all in one piece. Like I said, kind of an old school setup, but works beautifully. So that's what I ended up going with. These are also 304 stainless. A lot of stainless going on this guy. Trying to make my first TIG project as pretty as a first TIG project could be. But works perfect. And the bellow, if you're wondering why there's a bellow in the first place, it's to absorb vibrations, especially with the old rattly diesel with solid motor mounts and an intercooler that's primarily mounted to the frame. You need something, even though, like I said, solid motor mounts, and this is tied to the engine with that brace right there, you still need something to absorb vibrations, or you're going to crack pipes, crack welds, crack flanges, things like that. So that's why you put the bellows in there. It absorbs the vibrations. That stops the bellow from exploding. Bob's your uncle. Let's go racing. But that's the, as you can see, same hood stack as last year. Just ordered a different flange for the S400, because last year, as you know, I had the S372. Now I have an S400. So it had last year it had a 4.21 Marmon flange, and this is a half Marmon 4.62 flange due to being a T4 S400. So they're a flat-faced flange. So ordered the new flange, cut the old downpipe off, or the old flange off the downpipe, welded it. Bob's your uncle. Same hood stack, all that stuff same, good to go. Might rewrap it. It's an old wrap. It's kind of looking a little dingy. That's fine. It's on there. It'll run. So this thing, as far as air-wise, is dang near ready to go. Like I said, it's only tacked together currently, so I need to pull it all off. Actually, that flange up at the turbo is fully welded, but everything else is just tacked. Got to pull it off, finish weld everything, and then might powder coat it, might just clean it up and rock it. We'll see how good the welds turn out. Might have to powder coat over them so you don't see how bad they look. But I promise you they are going to hold, and that's the important part. One of my favorite things is if you look at it from this angle, the pipes are perfectly parallel right there. I just love how good it turned out with the 45s and the 45s. Everything's parallel. Where they 90 right here. You can't see past the hood stack, but parallel as well. They both meet that same curve. I think it turned out beautifully. I had a friend tell me it kind of looks like a 6.7 liter Power Stroke. That's fine. It looks amazing. So yeah, guys, like I said, I had a pretty big update for you guys. The turbo setup is finally coming to fruition. It's finally almost done, and we're finally ready to almost hear this thing make some noise. This weekend, I'm going to be filling it full of fresh fluids, filters, things of that nature. I'm going to try my dang gum hardest to get this thing fired up this weekend. And it's more than close enough. Like I said, just got to pull the pipes off, finish weld all that stuff, put all fluids in this thing. I am probably not going to have the water part of the intercooler plumbed yet, but I don't need that to hear the truck run, get the fuel pressure dialed in, things of that nature. So that's just fine. I can't stop looking at it. Sorry, I'm trying to look at you guys, pay attention to you guys, but I can't stop. I just can't stop looking at it. It's amazing. Let me know what you guys think of how it turned out. Let me know. I tried to post on YouTube. That was the first time I ever tried it, to kind of give a little sneak peek of the turbo setup. Let me know if you guys were able to see it, what you thought of that. If you guys want more post updates before a video comes out, kind of sneak peeks, things like that. Let me know what you think of that. Let me know how you think turbo setup's coming, how it looks, what you would have done different. Good, bad, or indifferent. Let me know what you guys think of the turbo setup. All criticism is good criticism. We're all learning here together. Like I said, very first TIG project, and we're gonna figure it out. And first S400 on 6.5, we're gonna figure that out too together. So let me know what you guys think of how it's turning out. Like, comment, share. If you guys like this, share it. I want all the eyes I can get on this awesome turbo setup. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Yeah, share on Facebook, share everywhere, share Instagram. God, this thing's got me speechless, guys. I'm usually pretty good at this, but I'm excited. I will catch you guys on the next video, and hopefully that next video is of this thing firing up, guys. I will catch you guys later.